Hi, it's been a long time since I've made one of these. I don't think that I've really made one of these videos, since I lived in my own house. Um, I'm not going to name them what I named them before. Um, Before I would call these One Man's Trash is Another Man's Treasure, and that was inspired by a song by Katy Perry, Double Rainbow. And I am ready to let go of that old version of myself because I have outgrown that version of myself and I understand myself more. So I want to talk more about the deeper understanding that I have with recent things that I have shared and have been exploring. So, first, I want to start with what inspired filming this. And the reason I was inspired to film this is because of this video. This video is very symbolic in a lot of different ways, especially when I look back on the old story that is kind of a similar reflection as to where I'm currently at in my life, which happened about 6 years ago. And in that old story, I know that I was in a much harder place emotionally, so I am celebrating that I feel a lot more confident in myself. I also just want to put out there that I really enjoy watching these videos. I will share the information so that you can enjoy them as well. The next video that I had up is of Tyler from 21 Pilots talking about choosing the band name, and I just have a lot of appreciation for that story. I also just have been really connected to the themes of right and wrong, and I find it really fascinating the way that he took that information and applied it to decision making, and he wanted that to highlight what it is that they do as a band and as people that represents themselves and their community as a whole. And they express it in a way, and I'm a part of that community, they express it in a way and that is just so fascinating, and they really open you up to collaboration in such a cool way. So that like connects me to my name and why I chose my name. And I chose my name because I wanted to be crystal clear on the decisions that I was making. I chose my name because I wanted to show externally as well as internally that this reality to me is very dreamlike, and I know that it's that way to a lot of people, and I think that people are most happy when they feel that they have control, which is essentially what lucidity is in the dream. Like, you have control over certain things, not everything. You don't have control over every external thing like within the dream, but you have control over yourself, and you have control over some of the things that happen. And to me, like, that's what manifestation is. Like, you visualize, and you can watch things come into fruition that you were hoping, and just being grateful for the opportunity. Like, you were hoping that you were going to have it, and you just knew that you would be very grateful that you would have it. My song I Can't Erase You is a collaboration writing that I did with ChatGPT. I didn't want to put all my energy into the writing just because of the headspace that I was in when I wrote it, and this whole last month I have not been putting a bunch of effort into the writing of the music. What I have been doing is really focusing on the sounds and getting better at developing the sounds, and I am super happy that I was able to figure out my mic so that I'm able to like have a lot more clear vocals. That song, I thought it was really cool how ChatGPT aligned it to the situation that I was going through, because I do a lot of tarot readings through ChatGPT, and I know that like that could be made fun of, but like there are ways to communicate with it in which that it can be very beneficial. But I'm not going to share how I communicate with it through here, at least not right now. When it comes to what I have been through that has brought on the current music that I have been making, and why it sounds the way it sounds, I have been in a place where I have had to let go of a family that I thought was going to be mine forever, because I had no idea I didn't know that the person that I was seeing and intending on being with, I didn't know that they weren't being authentically themselves, and that eventually dissolved in the form of her developing a relationship with a coworker that me and her both share. I've outgrown this. I still mourn, and I accept that I have grief for that. It's perfectly understandable that I do. I really thought that this connection was going to last forever because of these videos, actually, and because of the music I make. And unfortunately, that's not how it turned out. But I should have recognized that because of how she reacted to me sharing those stories with her and my music and art in general. But moving forward, I want to go into the next video. Water parks. I wish that I had images from the first time that I ever saw you guys play. I actually didn't like you. I wasn't tuned in. I was there for Christopher Drew because I always grew up really connected to his energy. I never shout never Christopher Drew. Like I studied them so well, but that's I suppose that's another story. Like that's more like me connecting to like understanding like my masculinity and femininity in a different way through music. But we're gonna focus on what is the main things that we're talking about, which is these current synchronicities and videos. I noticed myself really focused on how upset I was with myself for deleting images of the kids, and I'm not really sure if I should use names or not, so I'm just gonna not for right now, because we actually reconciled before she decided to start seeing somebody else, and we were in like a reconciled relationship for a few weeks. But I saw myself like focusing on me deleting those. And there's a lyric in this water park song that talks about like I can take a photograph to hold on to the past. I just need a minute before I leave. Like he's searching for his moment where life is making sense. And this song is so beautiful. Like the beginning of it like gives me the Beatles vibes, and it's so beautifully written. Austin sings so well, everything sounds so great in it. I am always really appreciative of water parks and their music. I have grown to love you guys so much, and I would absolutely love to sing with Austin in a way that is more than just in front of the stage. I would love to sing with you like Michael Clifford, which brings me to the next videos that I shared. I shared Eclipse twice, and there's multiple reasons to this actually, because like this reconciliation and 2 breakups happened between the last 2 eclipses, which is so intriguing and interesting. But also just like timing. So I'm not super deeply studied in astrology, but I am very well studied in astrology, like as a tarot reader. We're gonna focus on these videos. So I know that this song is written about Michael's daughter, and I have developed a very deep connection with these kids since the beginning of the relationship. And I know that there are multiple reasons why this happened, and it's because I always wanted to be in a father role. That is something that I always wanted to be able to do, and it's just not something that I have personally been able to. And that was something that made this relationship so appealing, because not only did she come with two awesome kids, she wanted to share one with me, and this is actually something that we even talked about after reconciling and a few days before she decided to leave with somebody else. And that is a huge part of what made this song hit me in such a powerful way. And another reason why it hit me in such a powerful way that made me actually cry is because of the use of the bracelets. And the use of the bracelets, it shows little eye beads, and it took me back to Father's Day. It was the first, I actually accepted this relationship on or near a Father's Day. And then I experienced one Father's Day a year in with them. And from the very beginning, like, she wanted me to feel like they were mine. But then it came to a point where she was feeling that she didn't know if it was right or wrong for her to already be considering me a father figure. So when I was all excited about Father's Day, and what we were gonna do and be experiencing that day, I ultimately faced some disappointment. But I did receive these bracelets, and these bracelets are also something that I felt I had to let go of at that point in time, along with actually, no, I held on to those. I held on to those because I did believe that they were going to come back, but then once I knew that they weren't anymore, I had to let them go. But the reason why it's so synchronized is because in the video, he uses I and spells it out really long, and one of the bracelets that she made for me had E, like multiple E's on it, because that's what they would call me. And I'm really grateful for the experiences that I had with them, but I'm also really grateful that that there are a lot of parts of that relationship that are over. So when I woke up this morning, I put on this shirt and I checked, I usually check my Facebook memories and my co-star. And in my Facebook memories was a book that I started writing 6 years ago. And, or 7 years ago. 6 or 7. That's weird. That's so ridiculous. Anyway. Humans, we're so funny. Um, oh, we're fucking adorable. I wish we were adorable the majority of the time. So that brings me into the next topic, which is war, which is what I thought about when I shared this next song. It's I love composers. I always was so fascinated by the movements from like my choir teacher and band director and stuff. I love doing it. It's one of my favorite things. People watch me do it at work sometimes and have pointed it out and thought it was funny. But I just thought that this was really cool because System of a Down is one of my favorite bands, and having it changed into, I just thought that that would be something that would be really awesome to see. So I hope that I get to see something like that in the future in person. Then these Hobo Johnson videos started popping up, and these videos were coming up when, like, around that time, 6 or 7 years ago, when I was working on this book. And this song, I think, actually might have happened a little later. I think that that time was more like Peach Scone, but like this song specifically, Happiness. The reason that I chose it is because my mom says to me, I want nothing but happiness for you. So that is the main focus. We're focused on happiness. We're focused on the word. We're focused on the feeling. We're focused on what happiness is to me. And I love this song. I've always loved this song, even though it is a little bit sad. And the sad parts, I can connect to some of them, not all of them. The story is absolutely just well written and well expressed to where like I can feel it emotionally, not just for me, but like externally for the artist as well. But it feels like I'm kind of putting myself in the shoes where like somebody's talking to me, where like a past version of myself, but also currently me, because of and I'll read the message that I have that goes along with it. But he says, Ashley, that's so fucking dumb that you think that you could write this book that life would just hand you. And I always like felt super judged for whatever reason. Like I would judge myself so harshly, thinking that like I wasn't worthy. But like, why would I even do that? Like, who taught me that I wasn't worthy? But like that comes from layers and layers and layers of people feeling like they're not worthy for whatever reason. So a lot of this is me looking at like how like my self-worth like has changed and developed, and just has like multiplied and multiplied and multiplied, like as I've grown over these last 6-7 years too. My self-worth has really put me in a place where like I can really feel myself like being very abundant, even though like in this last relationship I really didn't feel like it. A lot of the time I did feel abundant in a lot of ways, just not financially. And that like caused a lot of problems, but it caused problems for a reason, and it was because of there being an authenticity issue. And it's super interesting because like I felt like I was being very authentic. Essentially, like, I was being very authentic. I was just kind of just like, there was potential, but that potential wasn't being met. And that's something that, like, I can accept. But I'm going to read what I wrote talking about this video, and I do highly recommend watching like these, because like it's not only just like understanding like me more, it's connecting you to another artist, which connects you to another artist, another artist, another artist. And it really is just again, like, this is focused, like, to me, like, the theme of this video is really on collaboration and just like connecting and and yeah, just connecting. So I wrote, I love finding a little bit of happiness and myself inside of art, even when it's also sad. I was called Ashley last month. I'm called that a lot. People think it's an insult. It's not. It's not always used as an insult. I didn't write that in here, but I want to say that. It's not always used as an insult. Ashley is a guide and was a baby, a teenager, and a young adult that no one really knew outside myself, other than being the caterpillar. Legally, it's still my name, so I suppose I'm in the cocoon. I'm done with bullies, but I know you're also sad. I hope that you find happiness. A memory of my first book popped up today, and I haven't been able to publish just yet. I'm celebrating the life of opportunity I have to publish the other two as well. Today, I am celebrating the many accomplishments and albums I have created and all I have learned and continue to learn along the way. Lots of love, Lucid. P.S. I also just noticed that I am currently wearing the same shirt that I wore in the cover photo of my book I took years ago when I was in a similar spot in my life. I want to tell that version of myself that things are better, and that makes me feel better about where I'm going. Thanks for reading. So, in the comment section of this, I also shared a photo of that book, and I shared a song called Ashley by Escape the Fate. And I shared this song because I love this song. I connected to this song. I love that it had my old name in it. It made me feel seen. It made me feel special. People would sing it to me. I loved it. And I also really wanted to look like Craig Mabbitt, but I'm really glad that I wasn't actually biologically male at that time, actually, because I definitely would have put that little soul patch on my face for sure. But anyway, not judging you. I'm sorry if that came off as bullying. I loved it. I wanted it. But it's just not something I would do to myself now. So, that last sentence that I wrote, like, took my focus into, this next video. And this next video is a song that I just made. I made the beat last night, and, I think I started in the morning, actually. But I made the beat, and I did like a rough like quick rundown with the lyrics that like I did again a collaboration on writing with ChatGPT, and again spot on, connected. I love it. It's goofy, it's high vibrational, it's what I needed to lift my spirits out of a funk. It really was like about releasing, receiving. Absolutely awesome. uh, the beat is super upbeat, something that isn't typical to come out of me. I played with brass instrument sounds this time. It was fun. Um, but the last sentence in the previous song that I was talking about by Hobo Johnson, Happiness, I said, I want to tell that version of myself that things are better, and that makes me feel better about where I'm going. So, a line for the better. I was really focused on the word better. So that's where like that video plays in, and like there's an image that I made started yesterday and finished today of this little alien band playing, which is just awesome. It kind of reminds me of when I was a kid, and me, my cousin and brother were developing a band, and that kind of brings me back to like the bracelet story. And remember the synchronicity. I was talking about the E and the I. For whatever reason, I wanted to name our band EI, and I remember like drawing in images and having like a heart with flames on it and stuff. And now that I look at it, I kind of think that EI stand for extraterrestrial intelligence. So that's what I'm gonna go with. But anyway, going back to the song Ashley, like I started having thoughts about Craig Mabbitt, because like I did genuinely like was drawn to this energy. I was always drawn to a lot of vocalists. I would found like a lot of their style very appealing, and I was again just very connected to the energy, and like everybody wants to be their heroes. And I know that like this is essentially like, it's not like everything, because like it's not exactly, that's not like why I like, that's not where me like being trans like came from, because me being trans started way before that. Like me being trans was like way back, but like nobody had the words to, I mean, I think that the words were around to describe it, but like nobody like really like how do you even make that decision, which is why it's so understandable why things went the way that they went. But when but like it was like I was finding myself. I just couldn't safely express myself. And now that I'm in a space where I'm just like, I'm safely expressing myself, because like I know that everything is unpredictable, it's just time to open up and be that authentic self, be lucid, be me. And so I remember when I found or was like studying like Craig a little bit, I remember learning that he was in the band Bless the Fall. This isn't a thought that inspired me to go watch any Bless the Fall videos. I actually went to work and had a pretty good day at work. Yep. I came back home and I touched up that song, made it how I wanted it, shared it. But then the band Lights has been popping up on my feed a lot. And I remember when I was a kid, I was always very much drawn to her. I remember having a crush on her for a little bit. But I learned that she is married to the singer of Bless the Fall. And I was like, okay, so here's two synchronicities with Bless the Fall. Let's go watch something, one of their music videos. So I was scrolling, and then I found one. The reason why I chose this one was because of earlier videos that I shared, and I'm not going to talk about those right now, but I chose this one, and I haven't ever listened to their music really before. This song is really good. The lyrics are really cool. The video is really cool. There's a lot in it that I connected to at the end. What I connected to was the tarot reading, and they pull the Nine of Swords, and all the smoke goes up, and it's just like that. It just shows that synchronicities and stuff and following them, like there's something to it. After I saw that, it really did feel like there was like some sort of release, and that's ultimately like where I felt inspired to come and like film this video again. Because I think that this stuff is just so important to talk about. It's important to talk about how to be in touch with yourself, and not only that, but like I think that this like helps people feel more connected to me. It helps people feel more connected to others. It helps people feel more connected to themselves too. And I think that all this stuff inspires at least somebody, even if it's just me, in some way, shape, or form. So I find benefit in that. And it's so interesting that like I even like energetically like find the need to like express like an explanation to it. But anyway, so the image of the old television. Oh, that brings up the bullying aspect. Yeah, so the bullying. There's somebody like bullying the one of the actors in the beginning of the music video, where like they're selling the old TVs. Like, how much is the old TV? And they're like, it's $20. And this reminds me of my grandpa. My grandpa like does rummage sales a lot, and I actually have a guitar from him where he did something similar, where the guy was trying to sell it. I don't know if it was for $20 or what it was, but he told them to go lower on the bid, and he got it for $5. And that's what happens in this video. But in this video, this lady bullies him. He's like, yeah, you look like you only have $5. I'm just like, it's funny that I share something where I'm talking about I'm so done with bullies, but you're all sad. Like, I think that it's just impossible to be done with bullies. And I even had a moment in this video where I felt like I was being a bully. And I also had a moment earlier where I was like, but I kind of like being bullied when I'm flirted with a little bit. But anyway. So I was fascinated by that. But then the image of the TV like brings me to one of my favorite songs ever. It's an a cappella song. It's so gorgeous. It's by Select Start, and I just think that it's cool that the band is called Select Start, because every time I come to this band, it's in this song, it's like it's always like a really cool like renewal feeling. And it reminds me of the ending of Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which, like if you know me well, you know that that's one of my favorite movies, and you know that that movie has played a theme in like how I guide myself romantically for a lot of reasons. Some of them that I can't talk about until I can quit one of my jobs, which I'm looking forward to. Oh, which I'm looking forward to. But that led me to an old video of me performing in my old house. When you're feeling alone, you'll call me up on the phone. Close up your eyes and pretend that I'm home. So lucky to call you my own. And I was singing that song. And I did a couple other cover songs at the end. One, I Believe in a Thing Called Love by The Darkness. I was always super, like, that music video was so strange, but I love it so much. It's so alien. I just adore it. And then the last song, I think the artist's name is Yuna, but the song is called Deeper Conversations. That song is super pretty. Yeah, I've been missing out on a lot of deeper conversations. I think I've been experiencing them a little bit here and there, and I'm not kind of. I'm ready for a balance of really good deeper conversations and really good individual relationship. Because I do miss being able to do this. I miss being able to not just perform on a mic in my bedroom. I miss being able to perform in front of people. I miss being able to perform for large crowds of people. And I want to expand that even further than I've ever been able to do. And I know that I'll be able to. It's just a matter of meeting the people that know how, and really connecting with the people that know how, and developing relationships and collaborations with the people that know how, because I honestly have no idea. but I know that I am worthy of that, and I'm also worthy of an even better and like the best relationship for me, and people that support me and see the hard work and the things that I do, and the love in the things that I do, and the inspiration in the things that I do, and the other artists and the things that I do, and so on and so forth. I'm really happy with this version of myself, and I'm really happy that I get to be able to share it with you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here with me. Take care of yourself.